Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Forums podcast. Today we have the one and only Fritz Colinet, who I'm very excited. I have known him for a couple of years and finally he got to be on the podcast with us here. So, a little bit about him is that he is a phenomenal creative powerhouse. He is the strategist behind more than 200 brand transformations from Fortune 500 companies to household names like Lady Foot Locker and the Houston Open. And what I love most is that he is known as the friend every business needs. What a beautiful compliment that is. He does a great job of blending deep psychology, design mastery, and storytelling. So without further ado, Fritz, welcome to the Entrepreneurs Forum podcast.
Thank you, Lenora. I appreciate it very much. And I'm happy to be here. I'm really excited to get started. I'm really excited to just pour into the community, pour into all your subscribers. So let's get this party going,
I love that. I love that. So when it comes to branding, how did you even get into the field? Like, can you give us the short background story of how you got into branding?
I believe, when I grew up, for me, everything was branded. Everything felt like it needed a name. It needed a title. It needed like a characteristic. It needed a story. So it was always in me. Right. So I loved when you took a product or a service, or I saw something, or I painted something. And I was able to tell a story about my painting when I was younger, right? Or my artwork. And I started to kind of live in this world of, it's not only the visual, but it's also how you make people feel that are attached to it.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
And then that translated into, working in communication, marketing, advertising, branding. And, you know, people don't buy products and services, they buy brands now.
That is very true. Yeah. Did you
Right.
ever notice that, or how did it go from I'm seeing something visually? Oh, there's an emotion here. Was there like a light bulb moment that came to you when you realized that, or it was just kind of this great evolution?
It's a little bit of both, right? So we don't really realize that we are connected emotionally to brands, associations, groups. So the easiest one is a team, right? You're connected to this team, win or lose, you're behind the team, right?
Yeah.
So now, and that's part of the brand, right? So when it's winning, you love them. When they're losing, you love them, right? When someone speaks ill of them, you defend them, right?
Yeah.
When someone praises them, you're on their side, right? And what did the brand do? They basically gave you energy and you absorbed the energy,
I love that.
and they gave you joy. And now they gave you something that you couldn't get anywhere else,
They give you
right? So
energy and joy. Yeah. That's really powerful. I feel like that goes so much deeper than what most people think branding is.
exactly. So
Yeah.
if you look at the most powerful brands on the planet,
Yeah.
and you ask yourself why, like, why is this group have a 10,000 strong, 100,000 strong, a million strong? Why?
Yeah.
Right? What are they offering? And you're like, they're offering something to drink. They're
Yeah.
offering XYZ, right? A place to come sit, a place to come meditate, like a
Yeah.
place to come cheer,
Hmm.
right?
That's powerful.
So we become connected and we don't realize that it's what's happening is they're acquiring a slice of memory.
Ooh, that even goes into one of your talks.
Yes, it does.
It does, especially when it comes to memory. So let's pop over there. When it comes to memory, I know one of your signature talks is acquiring a slice of memory, and that is incredible. So what does that mean? How do you share that with people?
You know, when you're trying to build a brand, personal brand or product or service brand, you know, why you, why now,
Ooh,
right?
those are good questions.
What makes you uniquely different? And how can you connect your product to an emotion? Because it's challenging for someone to remove the emotion,
Oh yeah.
right? If I want the audience, I want you to think about a movie, a TV show that you're watching last night, or maybe even today, right?
Hmm.
So this actor is acting, and you may love this actor, you may hate this actor. You know that they're acting, you know it's fake, right? You know that this actor doesn't really, he or she is not like that personally,
Hmm.
but emotionally, you're still invested that you don't like him or her, or you love them, right? And if you like them, guess what? They've acquired a slice of your memory.
Ooh.
And then you start to defend them on a show that you know is fake, and you know that they're like, it's like this thing,
Yeah.
right? If someone says something ill of them, you're like, hold it, don't say that about my, so and so,
Yeah. That's a really great point. I
right?
love how you connected the dots on that, that they are acquiring a slice of memory. Yeah, absolutely. Um, when you, especially with the questions that you asked, so why you, why now? And I know you've been involved with amazing rebrands of really well-known brands like Lady Foot Locker. I know I mentioned. What's the first thing that you notice? And then how do you go through the process of taking what you see and evolving it and transforming it into something new?
I want in any rebrand project, it's
Yeah.
always like that particular company is saying something at the moment, right? And they're doing things that may not be in line with what they're saying, or vice versa.
Hmm.
They're doing things that are 100%, and they're saying something totally different. And that
Yeah.
happens a lot within, a lot of corporations. The
Doing one
folks
thing.
who are on the front lines, they really do not know the core values of the company, the mission, the
Hmm.
vision, right? So if the first line defense of your brand or your company, if they have no idea who you are, what the goals are, what the core values of your company, there's going to be a misalignment. So when there's a misalignment, I
Yeah.
already know that their brand is fractured,
Okay. That's powerful.
right? So
Yeah.
it's basically the same thing with the family, same thing with organizations, same thing with,
Yeah.
so all of these things, if we all have to be consistent with our messaging, our core values, our beliefs, how we approach a situation, how we distinguish if this opportunity is good for us and our team or organization. It goes
Yeah.
back to our core values. So looking at a brand, I can identify, okay, this misalignment here, this misalignment here. Okay, we need to align all of this and make sure there's clarity,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of times we're speaking like way up here,
Hmm.
and you need to bring it down just a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah.
Sometimes we feed everyone like a whole pie, and all they wanted was a slice,
That is probably very true.
right? So
Yeah.
it happens too often. So
Yeah.
it happened with me earlier on in my career, so I had to tailor it back, because there's this phases. If it feels hard, then it's hard,
Mm, for
right?
sure.
And we make decisions on emotion. There's
Hmm.
very few people who can detach themselves from the emotion,
Hmm.
right? So now if we're able to do that, phase one, phase two, phase three, then we start to realign everything, start to rebrand, understanding who our ideal target audience is,
Hmm.
which is really important, right? And then targeting that ideal target audience, understanding what their needs, their wants, their fears, their frustrations, but most importantly, their aspirational goal.
That is really beautiful. I find that um, you really take people through a very deep process. It's not just what people might think, which could be very surface, which is very visual. And, is this color here? And do we like that power? But you really make this a very foundational thing. And it's so much different than just the visual aesthetic to it. There's much more when people are working with you.
No, you're absolutely right. A lot of times people are thinking, oh, a rebrand, I just need a logo. I need a
Hmm.
new logo. Okay. And we can have that conversation. Okay, what do you want your logo to say? Well, I wanted to say name my company. Okay. Outside of that, because
Yeah.
there's a font treatment. Because you could take any word and
Hmm.
you can utilize a different font, and the end user will feel something different
Very much so.
because the perception of what that font evokes, right?
Yeah.
It's sporty font will feel it's more sports or collegiate,
Hmm.
more sophisticated font may feel, more elegant. So, what do you want that emotional connection? And then we go into colors, like why, so there's a lot of designers that are picking colors because it's the closest color that's in the color palette that they feel like, oh, okay, yellow is great. Let me pick yellow.
Hmm.
So, what does that color mean
Yeah.
for the target audience?
Ooh, that's a good one too. Yeah. That's
Right?
what I mean when I say it's very foundational with you. And I can see why you're called the friend every business needs because it's not just putting something up. The questions that you're even asking and you're offering to people and our listeners are very powerful, very insightful.
Well, and that's what separates me from everyone else.
Yeah,
Right? So you're getting psychology and data combined.
that is really powerful.
Right? So
Yeah.
you can create something beautiful, but if it doesn't perform, then it's just beautiful.
Yeah. And
Right?
if it doesn't perform, yeah, does it perform? That's another great question. You mentioned that for our listeners, you have something really unique that we're gonna put in the show notes too, which is like the questions that you're coming out with. I can't even wait to tell people what you're offering.
Okay, awesome. I can't wait to provide them with the offer. So it's going to be super awesome. So,
Okay. I was like, did you want to tell them yet or
well,
not
I could
yet?
tell them,
Okay.
you know, we're offering everyone a personal branding quiz. So they go online, fill out the quiz, and it'll tell you the archetype that you are, right? And also, we're offering a 20% discount. The
Ooh.
coupon code is Be Awesome, right? So just go to bxlconsulting.com, fill out the quiz. If you're interested in going to the next step, this is the ultimate personal branding guide. There's 8 modules on, there's 8 modules, everything from your niche target audience to your positioning to communication to all the assets that you need, but also who you are, the perception, the positioning. So everything you need to build your personal brand to the next level. So,
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. You were telling me about it, and I'm so glad that our listeners get to hear more about that as we keep talking. But that right out of the gate is so powerful because I know for sure when I first started to hear branding, and you get these little clips and these little reels on Instagram or something, and you'll hear snapshots of it. But I love what you offer, and especially to be called the friend that every business needs. What does that mean to you? That must just be so satisfying.
you know, it's a friend that every business needs. I'm passionate about it because there's truth, right? And you need that friend to tell you truth,
That is true.
regardless of the outcome. And sometimes you may not like the truth,
Hmm.
but you need
Yeah.
someone to tell you, like, hey, the reason why this is not working because of XYZ.
Yeah.
That's why. Right. So when I sit down with prospects and clients and I tell them, like, hey, this is what's happening. Right. And it could be something very complex or something smaller. Like, hey, when someone's calling, the receptionist is not doing X, Y, Z. This is what they're not doing,
Hmm.
right? Something as minute as that, or a restaurant. Like, well, if we want to increase sales, why don't we just have the server ask them if they would like this, right? So you have to start looking at the business as a relationship. So I'm in relationships with all of my clients.
Hmm.
So if they have a question, if there is a need, and sometimes it has nothing to do with advertising and marketing or branding. It's just
Hmm.
a business question. Hey, I have this opportunity. What do you think about this opportunity? Or I'm having a challenge with this employee. What do you think?
Yeah.
Right? What do you think we should do? Okay, I'll digest it. I have, a couple of rules, right? And go to comments for the folks who work with me, right? But also with the clients, like, hey, they can call me, text me anytime, and we'll solve the problem
Yeah.
together.
That's wonderful. What do you find? And I love that you're supporting them throughout the entire process. What do you do, or how do you navigate the situation when you find that they're refusing to take pieces of your advice?
Well, you know what? That's easy, right?
Hmm.
So in every situation, you have options,
That is
and
true.
I lay out the options. Option number one, status quo. You can do nothing,
Hmm.
and you already know what the result is going to be because you're receiving that result right now.
That's a
And
great
if
one.
you continue to do this, you know what's going to happen. Maybe not today, but it could happen tomorrow or next week or next year, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to get harder and harder and harder to remedy that situation. It's going to cost more money, more time, more energy,
Yeah.
right? Option B, we can do this. Option C, we can do this.
That's
My
really
recommendation
beautiful.
is this.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to move forward with?
Yeah. That's really beautiful. I love the way that you shared that. I have a feeling that you see the same threads in your clients, especially in the work that you do, that it is all about relationships, that you take these insights and you see them in your relationships in out maybe within your family or within your friends. And you're like, oh yeah, this relates back here too. Oh yeah, this relates back here too.
Yeah,
Full embodiment.
it's it's interesting because it's just you get Fritz, right? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no
You get
there's
friends.
no hiding it, right? I can't turn it off. I've tried to turn it off. It's like I look at everything from Fritz's lens,
Yeah,
and I'm just full circle, right? So
that
if
is awesome. Yeah.
a family or a friend is like, I have this challenge,
Hmm.
okay, well, what's the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. And I asked them politely, would you like me to assist you, or you just want to just kind of unload? What do you want to do?
Hmm.
I said, no, I like your perspective. Okay, and I'll give them my perspective on it.
That's awesome. I love
Right.
that.
So,
Especially when it comes to your clients, and I'm sure many of them have come to you saying, I don't know what else to do. I've tried X, Y, and Z. I feel like I'm showing up as the same as everybody else. I'm not able to step out. How do you navigate them through that, especially with the social media world, which is amazing because you and I have been around since long before social media,
yes,
and getting to see that evolution.
you know, when you're building a brand, product, or service, there's very few things that are very unique, right? And if you're in a industry that offers the same thing, what makes you unique? So that's really important. And a lot of
Hmm.
times we're just offering the same as everybody else,
Hmm.
right? And we're targeting the same audience as everyone else. And we're hoping that, oh, yes, I'm going to do better than this competition because I have more content. I
Hmm.
have a better looking assets, or I'm only doing XYZ, or my offer is 50% cheaper than everyone else's,
Hmm.
right? So it's really important to identify what makes you unique. And if you
Hmm.
don't know what makes you unique, you need to figure it out fast,
Yeah.
right? So, and the way to figure that out is like, what are all the services that you offer? What are all the features that these services provide? And most
Hmm.
importantly, what are all the benefits?
Nice. Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're focusing on features and services,
Hmm.
but we pay to get out of a problem,
That is very true.
right? And if you look at
Yeah.
how your your purchasing cycle, whether you're purchasing financially or purchasing with time or energy, you're
Hmm.
purchasing to get out of a problem.
Yeah. Beautifully said. I feel like you could bumper sticker that one. That is
I'm
a
just gonna
great
call you
one.
every morning. Tell me that again. Beautifully said. Thank you.
It
Appreciate it.
is so good. Oh my gosh.
So that's the old
Um,
school phone right
yeah,
there.
totally.
Right?
I
It's this.
I was doing a keynote a couple of weeks ago and I went like this and I even stopped in the middle of the audit in the middle of it. And I was like, can you guess what era I'm from? For anybody who's listening and can't see the visual, we're holding the phone the way that we used to actually hold the phone.
Thumb and
Um,
pinky in the air.
there you
Almost
go.
like hang 10.
The same, it's the same hand that we use, but when we say roll down the window and you actually go back to how we used to roll down the window. I know you've helped so many brands. Do you find that there's a common mistake even among the smartest founders or the people that really stand out? Do you ever notice you're like, oh, I've seen that problem before. Hold on.
You know, there's a commonality
Yeah.
for sure. And a lot of the mistakes that are always happening is that they believe that their solution at that time is the best solution for them.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So they're saying, if this messaging, I understand this messaging, so we should talk just like this,
Yep, that's true.
right? So like scientists, doctors, engineers, they have a vocabulary. Customers do not have that same vocabulary,
Hmm. For
right?
sure.
Unless you're targeting B2B engineers, like exactly. That's in it. So they have to understand who they're talking to
Hmm.
and what is the solution that they want. Like if you look at, you take something simple as, let's say, Microsoft Word, right? Microsoft Word
Hmm.
is a very powerful word processing program. 90% of the people only type with Microsoft Word. That's it, right? But if you open up Microsoft Word, you're like, man, this thing does all this stuff, but I just
Hmm.
need it to type. That's it. I just,
Yeah.
I don't need all of the bells and whistles.
Hmm.
And then there's that 10% that's, designing on Microsoft Word, creating charts, embedding video, you
Yeah.
know, having like macros within Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
So we have to understand our language, who we're talking to,
Hmm.
because if not, there's always going to be a misalignment, and
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest problems that founders, entrepreneurs, businesses have. Like, hey, they're trying to force
Yeah.
feed an idea,
Hmm.
and right now the customer has all the power unless you have something so uniquely different,
Yeah.
right? Like AI, right? So AI, when it first came out, it was so uniquely different that they
Hmm.
dictated. They were just like, you don't have to be a customer. You don't,
Yeah.
right? If you choose to, then you can be a customer.
Hmm. I like how you said force feeding because, especially when it comes to language, when like you said, a scientist is using a very different lexicon, very different language than somebody who's not the scientist. And you have to be able to bridge that commonality of words so that your customer can understand and use the application as needed or use the brand, whatever it might be. But yeah, that was a great example. Um,
And that happens a lot with mindset coaches, right? So they're using a language
mhm.
that if they look at their funnel,
Yeah.
right? They look at their funnel, they're talking in a language that's somewhat to someone who's outside the funnel,
Hmm.
right? In a language that someone who's already in the funnel and have adopted the language and the vernacular of
Hmm. I've definitely
their
done that.
business, right?
I've definitely made that mistake before, for sure. Yeah.
So, and it's challenging when you say, "Hey, we have to speak like this outside the funnel," and they're like, "Well, no, that's not the way we speak." I'm like, I understand that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it can't be 100% of how you're speaking because they haven't been taught.
Very much so. A
Right?
thousand percent.
So,
Yeah. Um, do you find, especially in the world that's there can be so much information about like put out content, put out content, put out content. Is there something that you really encourage people to do or to build something unforgettable? Do you feel like keep going with content or where are your stands on that?
so there was a time where everyone was saying content is king,
Yeah.
right? But what they fail to realize is content that is interesting. So I could be interested is king. Just so I'm
That's a
just
great.
pushing out content, that's just noise,
Yeah.
right? And you don't want to be in the noise business, right? And a lot of times we're in the noise business. Okay, yes, the experts are saying you need to post, 3 times a day on this platform,
Hmm.
4 times a week on this platform, and 5 times a week on this platform. And I'm like, okay, great. So now you're posting 21 times a week, right? Minimum
Hmm.
times
Yeah.
4 times 52,
Yeah. It's
right?
exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Yeah.
So, question number one: where does your audience live, work, and play?
Ah, that's a great one.
Right?
That is a great one. Yeah.
Are they on TikTok? Are they on, Snapchat? Are they Instagram, Facebook,
Hmm.
LinkedIn, X,
Yeah.
Thread? Where are they?
Yeah.
I mean, we could keep on going down. Like,
I feel
do you
like you
really
just
want,
solved like a ton of problems for people who are on social media posting stuff by one question.
right? So,
Hmm.
and then when they say, well, they're everywhere. Okay, great. So is air. Air is everywhere. So is water.
Hmm.
It's pretty much everywhere. So,
Yeah.
where is the audience that's going to pay for your service?
Yeah. That's a great one. Oh my gosh. Um, do you find, especially in all that you've done, do you find that, and I know you're proud of many things, which is fantastic. Do you find that they go into pockets? Like, I am most proud of this because of this, or like 2025, here are the top three things that I'm most proud of. How do you, what moves you about them? What stands out in your mind when it comes to the things that you're most proud of?
There's I'm proud of a wide variety of
You've
things.
done so many things. It's great.
And I've worked with a wide variety of brands. I worked with a wide variety of target audiences.
Hmm.
And I'm really proud of how I'm able to personally, how I'm able to look at a situation, dissect the situation, understand the audience, right? And then
Hmm.
move the needle for the client. And there's a time where they're looking at me like this this guy just either he has a fly on our wall, but he's just described our brand to a T and figured out how to solve problems that we've been having for the last couple of years. So
That's really
I'm
cool. You
I
can see it.
shed,
You can feel it too.
and I shed light
Yeah.
where there's darkness.
Very much so. Very much so. That is amazing. Yeah.
And then for brands, there's certain brands out there that I love when a brand comes to me and they're like, we can't do this,
Yeah.
or this is unapproachable. This is so aspirational.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, mental note, right? I'm like, okay. And then we achieve that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, remember when you said this could happen? They're
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, and we made it happen for you.
Aw,
And
I
they're like,
love that.
it's just in awe. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited when they can see or help them see the possibility,
Hmm.
right?
Of branding. Yeah.
Of branding, of marketing, but
Yeah.
also of having courage.
Yeah. That's extraordinary. I love that, especially as an entrepreneur. So I think for my final question, as an entrepreneur, do you have a guiding light or a guiding quote or something that you end up sharing quite often with your clients? Because I feel like, especially when clients come to you, yes, it's about their business, but there's so much more. It's so personal because it's their business and you're working on something that's so near and dear to their heart.
I really don't have a like a
Quote
quote. I wish I did,
or words of
right? But I
wisdom.
do I do like to I do like to say this, right? So everything is time, energy, and money.
Hmm.
Do you want to have a good time? Do you want more energy, or do you want more money?
Yeah.
Or do you want to invest your time, exhaust your energy, and exhaust more money? So you have to look at whether it's your personal life or your business and say, okay,
Hmm.
this task, is it going to cost me time, energy, and money? And if I complete this task, will will it give me back time or money
Hmm.
or energy? So a lot of times we're doing this busy work
Hmm.
with hopes of making more money. But
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're just using energy and time, and you're losing money,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
this is one tip for all entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
Make a list of the things you love
Hmm.
in your business. Make a list of the things that you're not excited about at all, right? Whether you hate it, you procrastinate or doing it, doesn't matter. Make a list. Attach a title of who or the type of person that would do these things that you do not
Hmm.
like to do, right? Because if you're doing it, it's going to take you 3 months to do it. You're going to procrastinate. Oh, mañana, tomorrow, and it's never going to get done. You already know that because it's been
Hmm.
sitting. That open cycle has been sitting there for 3 months, 6 months, whatever it may be, right? So now find someone that's their jam. They love it, right? So if you're not excited about social media, like then hire someone to do social media for you,
Yeah.
right? And just chunk it. If you're not excited about, you know, I don't know, marketing, if you're not excited about bookkeeping, like find someone. You don't have to find someone to work 40 hours a week. Find someone that can execute that task in the minimum amount of time and pay them appropriately, right? So if you pay
Yeah.
them whatever, you know, whatever your hourly rate is, right? So let's say your
Hmm.
hourly rate is $100 an hour,
Hmm.
then you shouldn't be doing any task that's less than $100.
It's a good one.
That's it, right?
Man, feel like we could come up with like Fritz's words of wisdom or like I know nobody does bumper stickers, but man, you got some good ones in here, man. They are
it
golden.
it's I've learned a lot over the years. I learned from a wide variety of folks.
Yeah.
So, and my own personal experience, right? So when I create a bumper sticker, I'll make sure you get a percentage off of that because you came up with the idea like, Fritz, let's make some bumper stickers, right? But I don't know if
That, or
anybody
we're gonna
puts
get like
bumper stickers,
motivational bracelets or something.
right? Yeah. So we do some
There's
bracelets,
something
we do
there.
some like, screensavers for your phone.
There you
Like
go.
every day we'll just change out.
How about that? See, now we're cooking with gas. There you
There it
go.
is, right? There's an app for that, right? So,
Totally. I love that. I love that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our phenomenal listeners?
you know, I'm going to give everyone my DM, so my LinkedIn DM. So, and if you have any questions about marketing, branding, feel free to send me a DM, right? That's number one. Two, take the quiz. It's going to help you out. It's going to solve some challenges. And, if you're interested, definitely take the ultimate personal branding, course, and you'll save yourself a lot of time, energy, and money.
That's exactly where we want to go.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, Fritz. Thank you to our listeners. You are full of phenomenal insights and so many great questions and so many lessons. So thank you for your very precious time and sharing it here with us today.
Thank you for everything. I appreciate it very much. I look forward to the
Mhm.
next time.
Definitely. And if you guys have questions, by all means, reach out to Fritz. He's fantastic. Until the next episode, we will see you all soon. Stay well. Bye.